who all work on abstracts of real world problems that will be assigned to them as themes. And these themes will be assigned according to their area of interest. And so a point to be noted, this competition is actually an international level platform where you all can compete. And there are teams who participate outside from India. And so the winners from the competition will be eligible for a summer internship by the IIT Bombay. Okay, so first of all, I would like to congratulate our teams for their endless effort and hard work that they have put in this seven-month long journey. And so approximately 29,000 registrations were taken up, and among them, all our 3 teams were selected and reached semifinals. And so and one of our teams, led by Vadivelin, did also exceptionally well and earned 3rd place. So 2 teams led by Vadivelin and Bharat worked on the same theme with different approaches. And so they were assigned the theme Nirikshak bot, which translates to inspector bot, which is basically to determine the quality of ball balancing platform manufactured. And Ashik's team were given the theme Vargi bot, which is centered around a warehouse management system. So now we will have our teams introduce themselves and give us more details. So and do take up this opportunity to raise any queries or comments.
Thank you, Gayatri. I myself Vadivelan. I'm the team leader of NB1527. That's the number we all have been given. Each team has been given a separate number. Now my team members will introduce themselves.
Myself, Kasi Vishwanathan, BEC second year from Electronics and Communication.
Myself, Girinathar, BEC second year. Okay, so we won the 3rd place in Yantra robotics competition. And
Okay, so now I'll start explaining what is the bot about. So as you can see on the screen, this whole setup is known as the Nirikshak bot, which also translates to inspector bot. Okay, so what we were asked to do is balls will be different color balls will be dispensed from this ball dispenser. Okay, I hope it's visible to all of you. Is my screen visible?
yes,
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yeah. So this is the ball dispenser. So what it does is every 80 seconds, it'll dispense a ball. Okay. So first the blue ball, then the red ball, like and so on. Okay. So before the second ball or third ball like that is dispensed, before that, all the balls have to be. It has to reach the boxes that is over here. There are so many boxes you can see. So each table has a particular number, and each box has also have a separate name. Okay, so we have a file in which the ball color, based on the ball color and it's the order that is given, based on that it will be the collection box number will be given. So this one has CB underscore T2, something like that. Okay, so that means like in table number 2, uh, third box, that's what it means. So in one file it will contain all the colors of the balls and the name of those boxes. So what we have to do is, using image processing, we have actually placed 4 cameras, one camera at above the each table. Can you see my mouse pointer over here? So that is one camera, and over here one camera, and one over here, and one also over the conveyor belt, so that we can know what color ball is being released, and a path towards the next table will be drawn according to that. So what we do is first we'll get to know what color the ball is and where it should be dropped to, where it should go, either this box or any boxes which is in the scene. Okay. And then what we do is we draw the path over here, and then we just we just make the servo controllers move according so that we can control the ball. Okay. Let me show you a demonstration how it works. Yeah, so over here the ball will get released. A blue ball is getting released in the beginning, and this vision sensor, this camera, okay, that will read which color, and then immediately we draw the path. Okay, the blue ball has to go to this table, and then we control it. The main concept behind the control of the platform table is by using PID. It's called PID control system, proportional integral derivative control. And then after it reaches the second table, it has to go to this collection box. So just before the second ball is released, this first ball has to complete its traversal. So actually 500 teams were given the same theme. As an Eyantra, what they do is there will be like more than 2,000 or 3,000 teams. They will divide so many of the teams and give each team based on their skills that they have given in the profile in the beginning of the competition, where we give like for example, we give image processing, we know image processing control systems. So based on that, they will ask us to design a complete working model. So during the lockdown, because of that reason, we had to build the whole robot in the using the simulation software known as Coplia Sim. And we have used Python to do all the coding. Okay. Kashi and Giri, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. So initially what they'll give us, they will actually give us the maze images, that is a 2D maze images. Anna, if possible, can you show
Yeah.
the 2D?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the mazes, the images that will be provided by them. So initially, what we should do this, we should implement the same 2D maze in the ball balancing platform that we have designed. So Anna, can you go to the simulation bar? Yeah. So as you can see, the 2D maze that you saw there has been implemented in this Coppelia sim. This is actually the top view, so you are not able to see. But if you see the side view of this, the 2D maze is first implemented here, and then after that only, like my senior said, the ball's color is detected, and then accordingly the path will also be drawn. So there are actually many algorithms for finding the to solve a maze. So once we provide the start coordinate and the end coordinate, it is possible to find the solution for a maze. And we use an algorithm called BFS algorithm. So this BFS algorithm actually returns the shortest. It finds the solution to the maze and returns the shortest path. So that's how the paths have been drawn. As you can see, the blue color lines. And then, as my senior said, we then implemented the PID algorithm, and that's what makes the ball traverse the maze. And this PID algorithm, it finally it controls the servo motors that is below the ball balancing platform. So
Yeah, over here.
can you zoom in?
So we actually do this whole project by task. So there were totally 7 tasks from task 0 to task 6, and the best performing teams among that will be, I think 5 to 10 teams will be selected to the finals. So in this, this is the basic platform, and yeah. So this is a servo motor and this is a connecting rod. Okay. So like that we have placed one on each end. Okay. I hope it's visible to all of you. 4 servo motors on each side. Okay. And that's connected using the connecting rod is connected to the servo fin. It's connected to the servo fin, and then that is thereby connected to the L connector, that's called the L connector, and that is attached to the table. Okay, so we actually give the control, we control the servos using the PID method, uh, so that the calculations are actually done automatically using the PID formula and all the algorithm that we have implemented. So it's not at all static. So each time the position of the ball is found, the centroid is found, and based on that, the servo moves according, so that the balls don't collide with the table balls. So each time it collides, we'll receive actually negative points. How much faster we traverse the traverse, and how fast we complete the whole traversal. Like 5 balls are being released in the finals, so how fast we complete and how least how we have the collisions. The lesser the number of collisions, the more points we get, and the faster we complete, we'll get bonus points.
Okay, now I will just throw some points on how we built this bot. It will not be that much difficult because we were taken by task. In the 0th task, we were tested on our Python skills and Lua skills, and we didn't know a language called Lua, so we started learning it. There will be five questions about Python and Lua, and we solved it in CodeChef. And in next talks, there will be some basic questions on OpenCV. So we also developed OpenCV concepts on solving the mazes and like color detections. Those all required for the final bot will only be asked. And then what they'll be asking is, in third task, we were told to design a copliasim model, a basic model. And then we finally clubbed this one ball balancing platform only we did, and then we multiplied into 4, and then we started communicating Python with copliasim also. That also we learned how to do, and finally we started the final theme in task 5 and 6. So what I want to say is, it is not that much difficult. The only thing is time, but I encourage my juniors to take part in it. The first years you can take part in first years also, and the second year also. So first and second year you can take part in it. So I encourage that to do that.
Thank you so much. If you have any doubts on this, you can ask now or ask later after all the teams have presented. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, good evening to everyone. I'm Ashik, and my teammate Amrita Varshani. We both worked on Vergibot Vergibot team. Okay, so basically the concept of that team was that you had a robot for picking up packages, and then you had a robot picking those packages again from a conveyor belt and placing them in a bin. So the whole idea of this team was you have a completely autonomous environment and the robots will do all the picking and packing stuff and notify the user at every time it does or finishes or accomplishes a task. So this team was carried out in ROS, right? And then the simulation software we used was Gazebo simulation software. So if you look at ROS, ROS is nothing but it's an open source meta operating system for a robot. So we call it as an OS. ROS full form is robot operating system. Now, why is it called robot operating system? Is that it provides hardware abstraction. It has a low level device control, and an implementation of commonly used functionalities like passing messages between different processes and package management and so on. And hence, if you you can actually obtain, build, and write and run codes across multiple computers when you implement ROS. So simply said, ROS makes things easier to manage. Once you learn it and once you get an understanding on how the ROS is architecture and stuff, ROS would make stuff easier for your robot to communicate with other robots or your robot to do various different processes at the same time, right? So I'll present the screen and I'll give you a demo of our project. Okay, I hope the screen is visible. So if you look our presentation, you'll see that we have environments. The first environment, this is the gazebo part, okay, and then we use something called as the planning software. Planning software is MoveIt software. Now, what is MoveIt software is that you have obstacles in the real world. We assume that the gazebo software is the real world, and we assume that the MoveIt software is what goes inside the robot's processor and controller, right? So you place virtual shelf and you place virtual packages and you act like and you make the robot pick up the virtual packages and place it in the virtual conveyor. And in that way, and why we do this is that the whole premise of doing this is that the obstacle avoidance and calculating when the velocity will, when the robot will, excuse me, when the robot will pick the object and where it has to place it and how much velocity should be there, right? Simply said, like I said yesterday, kinematic equations, you can properly use them and move it in an effective way without colliding with any in its path. So rearrange this. Yeah. So as you can see, this robot is actually picking the packages from the conveyor and it will place it in the bins. Right. There's a red package coming here. It will place it in the red bin. If it's green means it will place it in the green bin. Blue means it will place it in the blue bin. So this is the terminal. You have to initiate all the processes from the terminal window. And so you can see the package comes, the robot stops the conveyor, it picks it and it places it in the box. So we can notice that when the package is like being picked up, the conveyor goes slowly, meaning the robot also has a control over the conveyor. It's not just constrained to this particular robotic arm. The robot has command over the conveyor belt. And it also gets automatic feedback from this camera. This camera can detect the position of the package and also the color of the package. So this is the sensory input we have. You can see that the robot will move to that position, pick it up and place it. And none of this was hard-coded and everything was real time. So it's like an actual bot being there and picking up the packages. Okay. And you can see here, okay, I'm just going to rewind. Okay. Simultaneously, you can see here that the planning software will also plan accordingly. Like you can see that there's a green color bench over here, and that is the conveyor you can see here. This is the conveyor belt, and this is the virtual conveyor belt. And you can see the packages also red, green, blue, and here also red, green, blue. And why we did this is that the robot will have a sense of where things are, right, with respect to itself, and it can avoid any obstacles. Now I'll show you a video also where we could not avoid it no matter how hard we tried, and the robot collided with the shelf. I'll show that video also, and you'll see that how important it is to placing objects in the virtual software. So you can see as a robot moves here, first it calculates how to move, and then the robot moves, and then the object is picked up, then it moves here, and then the robot moves. So if and only if the path is confirmed, right, from the conveyor to the box without any collision, then only the robot makes its next step. So yeah. So this was task 3. To be exact, there were 7 tasks. The 7th one was the finale, and we only came to the 6th task, and after that we didn't. After that we couldn't continue any further, right? So apart from this, right, our team also had to work on IoT, and it also had to work on, like, using Linux software. Linux software, using it was the difficult part because no one had experience in using this Linux-based operating system. It was completely new to us, so we had like a week to learn this, and then we started using the terminal, which was completely new. So, end of the day, what we learned, even if we didn't win in a competition, we learned a lot from this competition. So here you can see there are two boxes, one in the shelf, the other one in the picking the packages and placing it in the appropriate bins. So and we have two planning softwares accordingly, like one planning software for the shelf and all the appropriate boxes, the other planning software for the bins. So you can see that first the robot will plan, and then it will go to the picking up the box. Okay, now you'll see that there's a huge interval between the picking the box and placing it, because right now it's difficult for the robot to compute how to pick it and how to place it without colliding. So, and once the simulation software confirms, the robot moves. Sorry, once the planning software confirms, the simulation software will execute it. So you can see the robot moves over there, and you can see that it makes a twisty turn and it goes and drops the package, and it did that twisting turn because it didn't want to collide with any other objects, including itself. Now you'll see that everything is actually fast. That's because we forwarded the VMs, and we had to load it because of our time limit. It was actually 30 minutes long, and we had to compress it within like 10 minutes, and we came to 12 minutes. So yeah. So you can see we finished the first row, right? And the yeah. So till this, the robot has to pick and place, and that is all the task 4 was all about. And from task 5 and task 6, we had to work on an IoT part, where the robot, once it picks up, has to send a message or an email saying dispatched, and as soon as it picks it up, says dispatched, leaves it in the conveyor, shipped, and then once it goes to the bins, it will send another message. Meanwhile, the robot will also dynamically update a map, right? And for controlling the map, we used JS and we used JavaScript to code it. And so in general, we had to use two programming languages, Python and JavaScript, for this project, this competition. Yes, you can see all the bins, all the packages were dropped at the appropriate bins, right? So at the end, I think I'll yeah, so I zoomed it, and you can see that all the 4 packages from the shelf, all the 4 packages on red bin, yellow bin, and green bin, they all were placed up accordingly. So yeah, that's it. And task 5. Yeah, and this is the IoT part. We had to update things in the Google Sheet as soon as it picks. You can see here. Sorry, excuse for the clarity. We couldn't. It was a rush, so we couldn't make the clarity clear. Yeah. So they actually labeled, like instead of color coded, we had to name like green packages to be low priority, red packages to be high priority, and yellow packages to be medium priority. And accordingly, we had to work. Right? They would give all the places, they would give all the time, the coordinates, everything, and we need to appropriately choose the packages and place it in the bin. Okay. And this is the email we worked. Excuse for the clarity. I think it'd be best if I show you the email. Okay, fine. So this is the email we sent, and this email will be sent to the customer, right, who ordered the package. I'll show you the email shortly. Okay, this is what the sheet was dynamically updated. You can see the dispatch status being yes and no, and so on. Okay, Fine. Just give me a minute. I'll open the emails and show you how it worked.
So meanwhile, so the entire aim of this team was like we would get orders through MQTT, and as soon as we get the order, we have to prioritize based on the color, and the marks will be given based on how fast we actually sort the package. So if we sort the red package, which is the utmost priority, we get more marks. So we have to come up with an algorithm so that as soon as we get a packet, get an order for a packet, we have to prioritize the order and then dispatch it as soon as possible. And we also had to send mail. So we got the order through MQTT. So we had to subscribe. So MQTT works by publishing and subscribing to topics. So we had to subscribe to an MQTT topic which would publish the orders at a regular interval. So Anna, come.
Okay, Amrita, I'll continue. Okay, so this is the Excel sheet we worked on. This is called as the inventory. We had to work with 7 sheets. Okay, so inventory means here all the items details will be updated. The storage number, meaning the row and the column. It's the third row and the zeroth column. Cost is 150, meaning it is a low priority package. If it's medium priority packages, means it will be, and then high priority is 250. How much quantity, right? And then also the timestamp of when this message was sent. This is the incoming orders shipped, orders dispatched, and dashboard. Finally, dashboard will the user can the customer can see this and see if it's dispatched or if it's shipped and so on. This is the actual sheet we submitted at task 6. So yeah. Meanwhile,
This can be 1 second. This can be done through Google App Scripting. So you can look up that if you want to learn more about it.
okay. And then we had this Gmail, and you can see that we did a couple of trials. So this is the final we send to the final task. So the order has been shipped. If you have any contact questionnaires, and the order ID number, the medicine, the type of the package, shipped date and time, and then the city and so on. Everything was sent to the user. So this team actually showed that a complete autonomous industry is actually possible, and even we as students can even do it, coding for it. Fine. So the Google App Scripting, it's do learn it because it will come handy in many projects if you work in the future. You'll have to work with a lot of CSV files or Excel sheets, and learning app scripting. App script is JavaScript. It's not that different from Java. You can learn that, and you can implement it in G Sheet, so that you can work on any IoT based project involving Excel sheets. So yeah, that's all from my side. Anything else you want to add?
Another setback we had was the computer specs. So it required a very good faster computer. So we didn't have that. So there's a factor called real time factor. So which depends on how fast the simulation will be. So we had a very low RTF. In spite of that, we tried our best, and yeah. And also that this is a software version. So a hardware version of this is actually implemented in Amazon warehouses. This the IoT, the interaction between the real-time warehouse and also the IoT part is actually implemented in Amazon warehouses. So yeah, over to the next part.
Thank you guys for hearing.
Yeah, thank you, Ashik. So myself, Bharat, and I'm the third team. So actually, they have introduced that myself and Vadivelan's team form the same team. So we both share the same topic. So my project is the same as what he showed firstly. So I won't go into the details of that again. So it'll be like repeating it again. So I'll just, in general, I'll tell about eYantra and how they started giving us tasks and all. So it'll be of can get an insight about what goes into the competition. So actually, it started around September last year, so August or September last year. So we had to register as a team, and based on actually when we register, they'll ask us a few questions like what are our topics of interest and all. For example, they'll give a few options like machine learning, Python, or JavaScript, and some other topics like digital electronics and etc. So they will ask us to choose the your favorite topic, like what topic you would like to work on. So they have different themes, right? So themes in the sense THEMES. So it's about different topics. So they have around 5 or 6 teams, I guess. So each with a different problem statement. So as we said already, Vadivelan and we share the same theme. It is called as the Nirikshak theme or the ball balancing platform theme. So in that we have to actually build a platform to direct the ball falling from the conveyor, like from above. We have to direct the ball into the required collection box. So that is our problem statement. So as we said, we have to do it by using image processing and passing the angles to the servo motors and all. So, and then Ashik explained his theme. So it was about IoT and implementing it in ROS. So like that, we have around 5 to 6 teams. And based on what we give, our preferences, they will allot the theme to us. So we can't select the theme ourselves. So they will allot it based on our selection. So after the teams have been allotted, and one more thing, actually, there are around 2,000 teams, I guess, in total. Team, I mean, the team group of people. So in that, approximately 500 to 400 teams will be there in each team. So we'll be competing between the 500 teams. So they actually divided into two stages, stage 1 and stage 2. And we'll have around 3 tasks to complete in stage 1. And then we'll proceed to stage 2. And we have another 3 tasks. And based on collective scores obtained in all the tasks, we'll be selected for the finals. Actually, we weren't selected. We went to the semi-finals actually. That is the task before the finals. And only Vadivelan's team got selected among our 3 teams for the finals. So, okay. So this is a process about how eYantra works. And actually, eYantra is not just a competition. It is a MOOC-based competition. MOOC, that is MOOC. MOOC means Massive Online Open Course. So the structure is that they will give the tutorial, that is the help videos or any help files needed, and we have to use that. We have to go through these files and read it, and then based on what we understood, we have to implement it in the task. So it's not entirely that they will leave it to you as such. So you'll be also learning from the tutorials that they provide, and you have to gain knowledge from it, and also search the web also. Like, they won't provide you spoon feed everything. They'll provide you the necessary tools to get started with, and based on your own knowledge that you gain from websites or reading from some other sources, you will implement them in the task. So the whole problem statement will be very huge. That is, we spent nearly 6 to 7 months on this eYantra alone. So the completing the task will require a lot of time, but they divided the task into subtasks that we told already. So around 6 to 7 tasks. So each task will be a bit simpler. We can complete it in a span of say 1 or 2 weeks. So we had to build upon each task, and at the final, we have to combine everything that we did in all the tasks into the final big project. So I'll just share a few words about these tasks, so you may get an idea about it. So hopefully you can see my screen. So these are the tasks that we that we were given from the eYantra team. So they have split the main problem statement into different subtasks. So in this case, that is task 1. We were asked to use OpenCV. That is, OpenCV is nothing but it is a image processing library in Python. It's used to work with images, read images and convert them into different like grayscale or a color image or a thresholding it. So that is nothing but working with the image to obtain useful information from them. So we were asked to explore OpenCV. That is, I'll just show you. So these are the test images that we were given. So as Vadivelan said, there will be a ball which will be dropping on the maze, and we have to detect the ball. That is, in real time, there will be a camera above the maze. So the camera will be getting the whole image of the maze. right? So our ball will be like moving on the maze, and we have to detect the position of the ball every time. That's continuously every it'll be like a loop. So we'll be continuously processing the image, and every time we have to detect the position of the ball, and based on the position of the ball we have to give the respective angle to the servos. So as he showed, there were 4 servos around the maze, right? So based on the position of the ball, and there'll be an endpoint given to us, that is the collection box where the ball has to fall into. So we have to direct the maze in such a way that the ball falls into the box kept below. So we have to give the necessary angles to the servos underneath, so that the ball is getting directed to the box. So for that we have to detect the position of the ball, right? That is, we have to direct it every time that the ball moves. We have to find its coordinates, and based on that we have to input the angles to the servo. So for finding that, we have to find the ball within the image that is received from the camera. So for finding the ball, we have to detect the ball. That is the shape of the ball, the color of the ball. Only based on that we can give it to the necessary endpoint. So for that, in the first task, we were asked to, that is, we were given these images. These are nothing but test images. So we'll have a couple of different shapes and different colors. So we have to process this image, and we have to output the color and the shape. That is, we will be given this image, and we have to write the Python code such that we have to output the ball. That is, we have to output that shape, circle, color blue, and here shape, triangle, color red, so on. So we have to output the respective shape and the color. So this was the first task that was given to us. And after this, we were asked to detect and encode the maze. So this was explained by the previous team. So we'll be given many different maze images. So these are a few maze images. So this will be just a picture given to us. We have to read this image. Again, this is using OpenCV, or there's another thing called as Matplotlib. So these are nothing but libraries available within Python to process the images. So we have to read this image, and as the we have to create the 3D model of this maze onto the Copeliasm. So Copeliasm is the software that we're using for simulation, and we have to read this image, reading nothing but like there are the black lines, and these are nothing but the walls. So in 3D you can imagine that these will be like walls, and the ball has to move through the maze. So it should move in such a way that it does not collide with any of the walls. So the collision must be minimized. So we need to process the maze accurately and recreate this maze in 3D format on the Copeliasm. So we have to first identify the maze border. So we have to cut this position alone. This is not done manually. This is done using the software itself. So we have to search for the largest square in that. So it will be cutting the square alone, and we have to detect the black lines within that. So these are the walls present inside the maze. So after detecting these walls, we have to print them. That is, we have to create these walls in the 3D in the 3D model inside the Copeliasm. So that was the second part of the task 1. So you can see that they have developed the problem statement gradually. That is, we have given simple task in the beginning, like detecting only the shape or creating the maze and so on. So at each task, the intensity will be gradually increased, and at the finally we have to combine everything that we learned into the one big project. So the task 2 is about generating maze, and task 3 was balancing the ball. So as you can see, balancing the ball on a specific point itself is difficult. That is, the ball will fall on top of the maze, but we have to balance the ball accurately so that it does not fall into some other area, or it loses its path and so on. So given a coordinate, the server should be accurately positioned that the ball stays still on that particular point. So it should just follow the path that is designed by us. And the designing the path was a task 4. So I'll just show the same image again. So we'll be given a start point and an end point. So they'll be cutting a portion here and some other portion here. So the ball should start from here and it should end from end here. So they'll be giving some random start and end point. So based on the start and end point given to us, we need to create the path. For example, if this is the start point and say this is the end point. So for creating the path, like I'll say that the ball has to follow this path again. So you can see my mouse cursor, I believe. So you should be following this path so that the ball reaches the end point from the start point. So this I can say from just viewing the maze, but this should be like coded into the Python file. Like the Python cannot automatically direct which is the path that should be followed, right? So I'll be telling it by intuition, but the program has to create or find the own path just by giving the just by entering the start and end point. So for that we use some algorithms available like breadth first search, depth first search. So these are common path planning algorithms. They are implemented mainly in games. Actually, for video game purposes, they'll be using these kinds of algorithm for designing the path. So the same path, same algorithms were used by us to find the path from the start to end point. So once we get the path, we'll automatically move the ball from this point to this point. So once the ball has moved here, we'll be giving the endpoint as this one. So ball will be again moved to this point. So we'll be incrementing the endpoint step by step. So we won't directly give this as the endpoint. We'll be giving this as the endpoint so that the ball moves from here to here. Again, we have to move it here. So gradually we'll be moving the ball from the start to the required end position. So that's about task 4. And then navigating the ball along the maze. So this is how the task will be increased in step by step. Hope you got an idea of like how these tasks are given. So yeah, stage 1 was given as 3 tasks, and stage 2 had another 3 tasks, and combinedly we had like the final output as the for the submission. So I think that's about the task, and my experience in it was like I learned a lot about simulation softwares in this. Actually, this event was to happen in like in real time, not using simulation. We should actually build these bots and using the hardware components, and then submit these files, and we have to take a video of what we do using the real components, and then submit the video to them. But due to this pandemic, so we had to do it using simulation softwares, and like complete the whole task using simulation software itself. So this was in a sense a bonus to us because we learned a new software through this. Otherwise, we wouldn't have like touched upon the simulation aspect at all. So that was a new experience for us. But like this might be overwhelming for you also. Like learning about Python or OpenCV, Copelius-Sim and all might seem difficult like from your point of view. But actually, we too didn't have any idea about it when we started. So it was fresh and new to us. But as I said, this is about a course plus competition. So they'll be providing you with tutorials or help files, and you have to read it and then proceed to the respective tasks. So you have ample amount of time to read and gain knowledge about it and then implement it. So you'll be also learning as well as implementing from it. So you'll get a wide exposure to different software that are available. In our case, it was Copelius-Sim. So in different teams, actually in one team, they were using FPGAs. That is about electronics. So they were working with FPGAs and all. And some teams were totally software based. Like Ashik's team was about Google App scripting. So based on your different interest, you'll be out of the teams and you can proceed with the competition. So I think that's it from my side. Actually, it's an interactive session. So I mean, you people can ask doubts if you have any. Not only technical doubts, you can also ask anything related to, about the theme in general, about Yantra in general.
I think we'll all switch on our videos.
Yeah, okay.
Just a minute, I will say some few things about this competition.
Yeah,
Then
sure.
we can go to doubt session. Okay, guys, I participated in this event along with Bharat and our other member Abdullah, who couldn't attend this meeting. In this, you would be wondering how this will be useful uh, to you, I would like to add that the topics you will be studying, mainly ECE students, the topics you will be studying in fifth sem, like control systems and other things, will be, you would only be studying theoretical part, like how to calculate something in control system. You wouldn't know how to apply it in practically. By this simulation, we learned a lot about how to apply the concepts we learned theoretically in practical manner. Also, simulation will not be as good as doing hardware project, but it will give you some idea on how these things are utilized in industrial aspect. Also, from this, I to tell you about my experience, I would say that it all depends on your interest. If you have more interest and search the Google and see YouTube videos and spend more time in analyzing how this works and how to improve your project, it will be really useful, and you can know more about it. That's all I wanted to say. Now, if you have any doubts, please ask. You can even ask in Tamil. Just switch on the mic and ask. Some of them. You wouldn't get most of the codes from internet, but yes, you can. You will get some basic codes, but you couldn't use the same code. You need to modify it.
Like for separate concepts, you can maybe refer the internet, but you won't be getting the actual code from the internet, I guess. Like these are unique problem statements, so no one would have done these projects already. But for separate, unique tasks like planning the path or detecting the image, so for that maybe you can refer the net. Like Stack Overflow is a very useful website for us. We have referred to whenever we had doubts, we refer to Stack Overflow for solving our coding doubts.
Yeah, and to answer that question, Mahesh's question, we were told that only a few teams would be selected to implement this in real world, and like the winners would be called to IIT Bombay to implement the whole team again. But I don't know how it's gonna happen now. We didn't receive any further notification on it. Usually, only the finals will happen in the IIT Bombay in the campus, but the whole Viva session, all the interaction, all the judgment, everything was live on YouTube actually, and I think the link was given earlier. So yeah, and a few of us are also selected for we are also eligible for the internship given by IIT Bombay. It's a 2-month internship actually, so the interview is not held yet, so we're all preparing for that. We'll let you know how the experience goes. Please unmute and you can ask questions.
Okay, the title of this session is interactive session, so please make it a bit interactive.
If you just ask a few more questions, we will answer quickly, and you can go watch the match, IPL match.
Yeah, match didn't join, I guess. So yeah, should have planned it timing so accurately. So just on it.
Coding will be majorly done using Python, or
yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, it depends on the team that you are at. So like I said, we have around 5 to 6 teams. So based on what your problem statement is, you will be using the respective software. So in our case, yeah, we use Python to integrate with the Coppelia Sim.
Yeah.
Python was the coding part and Coppelia was the simulation.
And there was another thing which utilized.
There is another thing which utilized
link
Python with Coppelia.
FPGA, which utilized a FPGA board. In that, you have to use a Verilog or a VHDL to code. So they didn't use Python or anything like that. And only in that team, the finalists were given kit, and the video were submitted, and they just based on that, the jury members. And each year this theme is actually very different. This time it was all the 5 themes were based on industrial robotics. Okay, but last year it was different, and next year it will be very different from this. But mostly it will be just like this, using simulations until COVID is completely gone. So
To answer Magesh's question, implementing in real world will be more difficult, I guess. In simulation, you won't be just you need a good CPU. That is the main problem. But in real world, there will be like so many errors, and you need to fine tune everything, and you would get unexpected errors, and whatever you do, sometimes it won't go. So real world implementation is more difficult.
Yeah, real world we'll have a lot of other parameters affecting our our design and model also. So building it itself will be very difficult in real world. In simulation, we just drag and drop the components and create the model. But creating the model within the real world and keeping the ball on it and traversing it, so it will be a bit difficult to do it, and using real components.
And there are other factors like Bharatana told, because in Copulism the screen is going to be completely white, the top layer of the maze. So there will be only 2 colors, that is the black for the maze walls and the white for the floor. But in real world there may be shadows of the maze walls which may appear gray in the vision sensor. So those types of factors will be affecting, and that can be corrected using code. Like the filtering values need to be changed. And to answer Sriram's question, how to get the technical infos, you can just think on ideas of project. You should think a little bit different project, and you need to Google up about that, like how to do this project. Then you will get ideas about, because Python, it has a large number of libraries to be worked upon. So anything can be done using Python, really. So that's why here Python is used widely. It does not mean Python is only used in Yantra. Since the Python has a vast majority of libraries, we can connect with the Copulism and then work in Python. And like for other team, they use JavaScript to connect with Python, and like that. So we have Python has many applications. So you just need to think upon beautiful project ideas, not simple ones, a little bit more compared with like image processing and video processing, or using Excel sheets, automated mail generator, anything you can think about, and you can use Python.
Also, adding on to the previous question that was asked, doing this project in real world or simulation, firstly, before doing these kind of big projects, it's first important to do the simulation part. Only if it goes well in simulation, that is the code that you're doing, so it should first work in your simulation. Only if it works perfectly, you should go on and implement this. Directly trying to implement in real world is definitely not possible. So we first need to simulate it, and only if it works perfectly, we should go on to the real world.
Yeah, and also like on the industrial arms like நம்ம வந்து பண்ணனும்னா it would take more than 10 lakhs or something. So like we could actually learn these concepts by simulation. So அது cheap முடிஞ்சிரும். So I think no advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you look at the hardware implementation, right? Simulation software, yes, they'll give you a good understanding on how the robot will work, how you can make the take the sensory information and pick the objects, place it. You can even get the force and torque readings. You can also get what amount of force is the weight is the box, right? To that level of minute information. But obviously, simulation software is a simulation software. So once, like, let's say you have a robot and you have been programming it and you have been working on it and you have been doing it all in simulation, when you move to a practical robot, you're always going to face difficulties interfacing the hardware with the software, right? That's a whole new different concept. And yeah, so this is, I feel like, one of the setbacks of the Yendra competition, because we didn't actually work with any hardware. It was completely software based. So we had to work with all we could have is all we had is a computer, and all the code and all the processing, everything was done on this computer. So only if you have a good CPU, you can run this proper and powerful simulation softwares. So yeah, that's it.
I think can I ask any doubts regarding the club in general also? So not only Yandra, any doubts regarding
also you can let us know if think some of you might have attended the Coplia Sim workshop, in which we implemented a pick and place robot using just the Lua programming language. In that, myself, Bharat, and Aditya, we three taught the implementation. But due to the time constraint, we couldn't teach the Python part, like how to control the Coplia Sim or the objects in the Coplia Sim using Python scripts, because as of many of you know Python language, and many of you are well versed in that. That part we were not able to teach because we can't cover that in a single day. That's not possible, because it's not that easy to learn. So we have to do it very slowly. We can't rush it. So we actually wanted to conduct more classes on it. So if you all are interested, then we could plan on it to conduct a short course. And Bharat.
Yeah, actually we planned with like similar to our project. We plan to start with introducing Coplia Sim to you, then again integrating Python with it. So to do complex tasks like image processing and all. But like you said again, single day la பண்ணது கஷ்டம், and பண்ணாலுமே வந்து you won't be able to grasp everything in a single day. So it will be a waste. So we thought we'll keep it on some other day, like integrating Python with Coplia Sim. So if you people are really interested in attending the session, if you people let us know, then we'll plan for the second session also.
Also, இப்போ உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது டாபிக்ஸ் வந்து நாங்க எடுத்தா நல்லா இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு நீங்க ரோபோட்டிக்ஸ் ரிலேட்டட் டாபிக்ஸ் நாங்க எடுத்தா நல்லா இருக்கும்னு ஃபீல் பண்ணீங்கன்னா நீங்க இங்க இப்போ மீட்ல சொல்லலாம், இல்லைன்னா குரூப்ல கூட கேட்கலாம். நாங்க we will try our best to take the topics.
Also, I think நிறைய பேர் உங்களுக்கு வந்துட்டு you want to know how to join, but நிறைய projects நிறைய பண்ணதில்லை, அதனால you are hesitant to approach something which seems complicated to you. But நாங்கள் என்ன சொல்லுவோம்னா, initially when we started this project, we didn't know much about OpenCV. We just knew basic features, basic functions, கொஞ்சம் தான், like what we learned from YouTube or something like that. But as we completed the project task by task, each task will take at least like 20 days. Okay, 20 days time they will give, at least 20 to 15 days. Then later on, per a task they will reduce the time duration, but you will have plenty of time to solve it as well as to learn from it. Okay, that itself will enable you to reach the final. Okay, so don't be hesitant. Participation தான் first முக்கியம். நீங்க first participate பண்ணாதான் தெரியும் என்னன்ட்டு, because they are giving you an option like what skills do you have, how well versed are you in it. Based on that, they are giving one project to you. So it's not like ஒண்ணுமே தெரியாம காட்டுக்குள்ள விடுறோம் அந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் இல்லை. நாங்க ஒன்றும் ஜீனியஸ் எல்லாம் ஒன்றும் கிடையாது. we were like what, we were beginners, but because of this competition, 6 months experience we learned 3D modeling, Lua programming language, more about Python. Great tax-kalla Python theriyadu actually. We learned only C in college. Then because of this, we learned Python. Only syntax is different, okay, in programming languages. Perisa, the algorithm implementation, all that, it depends on your thinking. So don't worry about all that. உங்களுக்கு இந்த காம்படிஷனில் பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ணணும்னா லேட்டர் வி வில் August the registration will start. We'll conduct interviews and select, put you in teams. Individual irukku எனக்கு team illa appadiyella you don't have to worry. We'll take care of all that. You just have to be ready. You have to be dedicated. That's all we want. Okay, we'll try our best. We'll train you, and also Yantra team will train you. Okay. I think the question கேட்டிருந்தாங்களா?
Yeah, on the second session repeat பண்ண சொல்லி, like we went a bit fast. Yeah, எனக்கும் அதான் தோணுச்சு, we went a bit fast in second session to complete the portion. But yeah, if we keep in the second session, we'll definitely start the coding from Lua itself. So no problem.
If we conduct a short course on it, we'll start from the beginning itself. Any other questions? Actually, not only Yantra, in general I'm speaking. So like you said, participation is more important than knowing everything. So the events lang conduct pandrom, like from the club also we conduct some events. We conducted it back from a few months back, and we'll also be conducting in the future also. So for those events, try to participate as much as you can. So only requirement is you should have interest in that. On the topic la ipo vekkira event la, if you have any interest in that na, do participate in the event. So you'll be gaining some knowledge from it. Actually, we gain everything that we have now only because of participating in something, some event or competition or something else. So ellame therinjittu dhaan event kulla ponona, appo then nobody can do it. So while participating, you will be learning some you'll be getting some idea or info, or you may not do it very well, but you will learning from someone else who did well in the competition. Like you'll be seeing their experience also, like so avanga eppadi pannirukanga paathu you may get some idea about it, and you will implement it in future projects or something like that. So participation is very important. So in the event enga nadandhalume, not only in club or college, wherever you get a chance to participate in any event or hackathon or something like that, like participate in that. So you'll be having some idea or info about various softwares or any tools available currently in the market. So you can improve your knowledge through that. And above club la we'll keeping, like we actually kept a class also yesterday. I don't know how many of you attended it. Kinematics, inverse kinematics and forward kinematics. So and we'll be keeping future classes also, like electronics and other things, basics la nadathlam appadina idea irukku. So in upcoming weeks we'll be keeping a few classes related to that also. So if you are interested in learning na, you can definitely take part in the classes and events also. Yeah, and in the mari classes alla why we take is it's for your knowledge. You have joined the club only recently, so we want you to impart whatever we have learned to you. So we are conducting classes for you. So and only club members can attend these classes freely. Okay va, உங்களுக்கு free of cost la நாங்க வந்து இதெல்லாம் தரோம். நீங்க வெளிய போய் work shop இது கோர்ஸ் அதெல்லாம் பண்ணவே தேவையில்ல. ஏன்னா உங்களுக்கு என்னென்னா காலேஜில் அப்பார்ட் ஃப்ரம் வாட் யூ ஸ்டடி இந்த கரிக்குலம் இல்லாமல் வாட் எவர் யூ நீட் டு லேர்ன் இன் ரோபோட்டிக்ஸ் ஒரு கிளாஸாக வில் கண்டக்ட். ஓகே, பட் உங்கள் பார்ட்டிசிபேஷன் நல்லா இருந்தால் தான் வி கேன் கீப் டூயிங் தட். ஸோ பார்ட்டிசிபேட், and if you are hesitant to ask doubts in the session itself, then you can feel free even to text the organizers or the one who took the class, because we have given the number also in the poster. So you can ask doubts. அப்புறமா நீங்கள் அதை பற்றி படிக்கும் போது இல்லை when you try to implement or do some projects on it, you can approach them. That will be enough for you. Okay, so please make use of that membership. Okay. Anything else to add? Kasi Giri. I think it will be good. Actually மற்றவங்க எல்லாருமே இந்த இவெண்ட் பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ணுவாங்க கிரேட் டேக்ஸ் தேர்ட் இயர்ஸ். ஓகே, காசி, கிரி அண்ட் அமிர்த வர்ஷினி ஆர் த ஒன்லி ரெட் டேக்ஸ். ஸோ ஐ திங்க் இட் வில் பி குட் இஃப் தே ஷேர் their experience working with seniors.
Okay, I'll go first. First time when they teamed up with a senior, I was like, okay, we are going to learn a lot from a senior. And as I thought, Vadivelana taught me many more. I learned many from him, and he's really a good senior. And then we used to work as a team only. We used to share screen, and in a meet only we will be working. We will not be working individually. And then as a team leader, Vadivelana as a team leader, he also thought showcase his both soft skills and technical skills, which also I just learned from him, so that when we become a team leader, we can try on those skills. And at starting, I felt it too difficult to speak with him because I thought, hey, as real, he was a talented person, so I don't know how I'm gonna manage with him, and I was shy to speak with him. And but later, he was too friendly with us. I didn't think them as a senior. I just thought him as a brother, and started speaking freely with him. And then we used to conduct meet for a longer period of time. And one important thing that I learned from him was he'll be never satisfied with the results, even though they are 99% correct. And because first time we tried, what we did was we solved the maze and the ball traversed completely, but it took nearly 50 seconds, I think. And Anna called in a meet and told that we need to bring it to 40 seconds. And then we just after 5 hours of coding and other changes, we brought it down to 40 seconds. And next day he called upon another meet and said, let's bring it to 30 seconds. And he was going on to the minimum number of seconds to traverse the ball. But at that time, I felt a little stressed because, okay, why are we working on the same thing again and again? But later, that was the thing that brought us until this position. So it was real. That thing I learned the most. We should not be satisfied with our results. We need to be working on that again and again, okay, so that we get the best results out of it. And yes, what I would say to my juniors is that you just try this Yantra in the first year itself, okay? Because in the Yantra finals also, first year teams was there. In a Vitrana drone team was there. It looked a little bit difficult than ours, and in that also first year team was there. They haven't met themselves, but they also came to finals. So first years it won't be much difficult for you. You know basics of Python, right? That's more than enough, because it's only the usage of libraries that make you do beautiful projects, not about the in depth of Python. You don't need to get through. Just you need to think beautiful algorithms and wise usage of libraries to work upon projects. Yes, it was a wonderful experience this 6 month. I got a new team like me, Kasi. Me and Kasi will be working always together on mini projects and petty projects like small in lockdown too. And but after joining with Vadivelana, we got more ideas. We got more exposure, and he also shared what all he knows, and we also share what we know. So we three are now in a good team, and we are also trying to do many more projects, that advanced projects. So, Kasi.
So, like as Girinath said, it was really a great experience to work with our senior Vadivelanana. So it's
நான்
only
எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் ஏந்திரால கேட்டேன், என் கூட ஒர்க் பண்ணல கேட்கல, ஐஸ் வைக்காதீங்கடா.
Okay, so yeah, like okay, so Yantra was actually a great learning experience. So initially, me and Girina, like during the lockdown, we had been learning OpenCV and Arduino, and we searched for a platform where we can showcase our talent, and that's where Yantra came in. And we gave our names, and then a mini interview was conducted by the robotics lab, and we got selected. And then initially, like we were a little bit worried to work with our seniors, because like he was really a talented person. Because the first meet that we had with him, he showcased his OpenCV projects like face detection and other things, and we were like, oh my god, he's really talented. How are we going to cope up with him and like that? But and even the first task, that is like task 0, it's like only me and Girinath, like we finished the Python code. Only we two did together, and then we sent the code to Vadivelana, and he cross-checked it. So, and after that, only from task 1 onwards, we started to work together, and then after that, we realized that he was really a cool person. And then and I also got I learned so many things from him as well. And then these kind of projects, they require a teamwork, because these kind of, if you try to do these projects individually, it's definitely not possible, because these kind of work, they demand algorithm development. So when you work as a team, each person from the team, they'll give their own inputs, and then with their inputs you can experiment each of them, and finally you can come up with the best solution. So that's what happened in our case also. Each of us gave us our own input, we experimented it, and that's what actually took us that's where we put in our so much hard work, because like one day, like me and Girinath, we were like coding for around 10 hours, if you remember. Like we started at afternoon 1 p.m. and it went up to night 12 a.m. So in the middle we just took 2 or 3 hours break. So it was like that. And then one more main thing that we learned is we should, no matter what happens, we should not give up. We were always, we kept on believing in ourselves, because there was a stage where we were not able to proceed. We were like, we don't know how to proceed further, but we kept, and also the deadline for the task was also approaching. And it was just 2 days back, we cracked the PID algorithm, and we implemented and tested our code, and it worked perfectly. So that particular stage was a breakthrough period. And then after that, that single moment gave us confidence, and then that helped us achieve that helped us to face the upcoming task with confidence, and that's how we made it to the finals. And in the finals, I got an opportunity to express myself in front of IIT Bombay jury members, and it was also a great experience. So overall, it was really a learning experience, both in aspects of technical and as well as my soft skills. So I encourage all my juniors to definitely participate in this event. So don't worry, even like my senior said, even if you don't know anything, they'll eYantra team eYantra, they'll definitely train you in the beginning, and then after that only you will get a chance to implement. So please do not hesitate to participate in these kind of competitions. So that's
So yeah, most of ரெண்டு பேர் கவர் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. ஸோ லைக் யூ டோன்ட் நீட் டு நோ மச் லைக் இங்கே ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு. ஸோ நான் வந்து லைக் 12th வந்து ஐ வாஸ் ஃப்ரம் அ பயாலஜி பேக்ரவுண்ட். ஸோ எனக்கு ப்ரோக்ராமிங்னா என்னன்னு கூட லைக் மீன் நான் ப்ரோக்ராமிங் லாங்குவேஜ் யூஸ் பண்ணதே கிடையாது. ஸோ காலேஜ் வந்த பிறகு தான் ஐ லேர்ன் பைத்தான் அண்ட் ஸ்லோவாக கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமாக பண்ணி தான் லைக் கற்றுக்க ஆரம்பிச்சேன். ஸோ வந்து லைக் டோன்ட் கெட் இன்டிமிடேட்டட் பை இவ்வளோ இருக்கு இதெல்லாம் எப்படி பண்ண லைக் பார்த்தோன்னே பெருசாக இருக்குன்னு தெரியும், பட் ஸ்லோவாக பண்ண இட் வுட் பி வெரி ஈஸி ஃபார் யூ. ஸோ eYantra இஸ் ஆக்சுவலி லைக் லேர்னிங் கர்வ் இஸ் லைக் செம்ம ஹை. ஸோ இது வந்து லைக் ஸ்லோவா கிராஜுவலா போறதுனால லைக் எனக்கு 6 months போயிடுச்சா அப்படின்னு யோசிச்சு உட்காந்துருந்தேன். ஸோ நிறைய கத்துக்கலாம். அண்ட் ஆல்சோ லைக் ஆஷிக் நான் கண்டிப்பா சொல்லுவோம் லைக் வாஸ் த டிரைவிங் ஃபோர்ஸ் பிஹைண்ட் த டீம். ஸோ அண்ட் ஆல்சோ இது வந்து டாஸ்க் வந்து லைக் நாலேஜும் டெஸ்ட் பண்ணிச்சு as well as பேஷன்ஸும் டச் பண்ணிச்சு. செம்ம பொறுமை போற அளவுக்கு லைக் இருந்துச்சு. ஸோ யா லைக் கண்டிப்பா ட்ரை பண்ணுங்க. ஸோ நானும் கண்டிப்பா நெக்ஸ்ட் ட்ரை பண்ணுவேன். ஓகே, ஓவர் டு தி சீனியர்ஸ்.
அப்புறம் இன்னொரு விஷயம், like let's say you're not in the EC branch or IT branch, right, or computer science branch, and you have other branches who are not involved in much of coding side, means that is not an issue. Okay, I am mechanical, right, and me and coding is like really far away, right? My branch is not any involved in coding, so I learned everything from online and competitions like this. ஸோ நீங்கள் வந்து வேற டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டு எனக்கு வந்து இந்த ஸ்ட்ரீம் செட் ஆகாதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு நீங்கள் யோசிக்காதீங்க. ஈவன் இஃப் யூர் இன் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட், ஒன்லி இஃப் யூ ஹேவ் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் அண்ட் டெடிகேஷன் டு கண்டினியூ மீன்ஸ் யூ கேன் do it, right? No one is stopping you. So it's just your choice, right? At the end of the day. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, thank you guys. So hope you guys had a look into what eYantra is and how they function and all. So many doubts illana we can end the session. And as I said already, keep participating in events that we keep, and classes interest in the attend pannunga. And okay, another doubt, how did you manage studies and eYantra?
It was really konja tougher irundhuchu.
Yeah, it was really tough.
Yeah, but even studying, so it got a bit tough. நான்லாம் பெருசா படிக்கலாம் இல்லை, அதனால எனக்கு தெரியல எப்படின்னு.
பாவி
என்னடா சொல்றேன்.
Yeah, see, actually வந்து இது ஆஃப்லைன் நடந்திருந்தா we would have felt a bit more tough actually to speak. ஆன்லைன்னால இப்போ சிமுலேஷன் அப்படிங்கிறதுனால எப்போ வேணா மிட் நைட்ல உட்காந்து ஒர்க் பண்ணுவோம், இல்லை காலையில எழுந்தோன்னே ஒர்க் பண்ணுவோம். ஸோ எப்போலாம் டைம் கிடைக்குதோ we were working with it. பட் இன்கேஸ் இஃப் இட் வாஸ் ஆஃப்லைன், ஸோ இன்கேஸ் ஆஃப்லைனாக இருந்துச்சு, காலேஜ் வரணும் அப்படின்னா அப்போ we have to find a common time suitable to everyone in between the classes and all. So அப்போ maybe it had been very difficult. So being online, we managed it somehow.
So yeah, being online was one advantage, but other than that, balancing is very important, and it at the bottom it comes down to your talent on how do you manage, right? Time management is very important. Just because you're doing a competition doesn't mean you can't excuse studies and vice versa, right? So priority has to be given to both, and so learn to manage work. That will come in very handy, and this is one of the things we learn in Yantra, like how to manage things. So yeah, and a lot of patience is required. So you should be really patient while doing all this competition, because it's completely online, and it's completely not online, simulation based, right? It's a lot of coding. You don't have any hardware to check, and you don't have any hardware to it's not the general process of debugging, right? It's a whole different process. So patience and time management is what is this far. Yeah.
I'll give some idea like.
Okay, Aditya,
like some idea how we manage our time. In the starting, the tasks were a little bit easier because we know basics of OpenCV, Python, and we also learned Lua. So at the task 0, 1, and 2, we just cleared it easily. So at that time, we didn't put much efforts on Yantra. From task 3, we started working 3 hours per day from evening 6 to 9. And from task 4, we were working from evening 6 to 12, like that. And at weekends, on Sunday also, we used to work and take breaks on lunch and dinner. And the studies all you need to take care on the free hours or in the night sessions. And evening also, you will be having time. In our college, the instance online classes, the schedule will be we'll be getting more free hours. So we were studying in those time. And us also, we were studying a day prior to that only. So we didn't study from the start. So that's how we did to balance both Yantra and studies.
Yeah, and my teammates இவங்க 2 பேர் ரெட் டேகாக இருந்ததுனால செகண்ட் இயர்ஸாக இருக்கிறதுனால எனக்கு எக்ஸாம் இருக்கும்போது சில டைம் அவங்களுக்கு இல்லாமல் இருந்துச்சு. எஸ்பெஷலி ஃபைனல் செமிஸ்டர் எக்ஸாம் வரும்போது that was when the final implementation we were doing, and the deadline was close by. But அவங்க எக்ஸாம் முடிஞ்சதுனால they were continuing until my exam got over. Then my exam in between, like 2-3 days ஏதாவது லீவ் இருந்துச்சுன்னா before the say next exam, I will go and help them out a little bit. And then அப்படிதான் like you have to split it accordingly between your members. That is also very important. தனியாக ஃபுல்லாக பண்ணணும்னா ஸ்டடீஸையும் மேனேஜ் பண்ணுறது கஷ்டம். So you have to split it. You have to work with the team members. Anything else?
Yeah. So we didn't have the luxury also, because in our project we had to work together, right? And we are already reduced down to 2 members, and we had just our working force was just 2 members, and அதை வச்சு நம்ம அவ்வளோ பெரிய காம்ப்ளிகேட்டடான ப்ராஜெக்ட். பிகாஸ் நீங்கள் ப்ராஜெக்ட் கன்சிடர் பண்ணீங்கன்னா we had ROS, we had to use Linux software, and Linux OS, and then we had to do IoT, right? All these things were completely new to us, right? We learned this from scratch in the Yantra project, so we couldn't go and ask help to others also, right? But now that won't be a problem, because you have seniors who have done this competition, and you can go and ask them, right? But we didn't have the luxury, so we had a tough time actually managing things. And that's one of the main reasons, right? We again, like Varivel said, we had semester exams coming up, and I feel that if we didn't have any exams, we could have done this task. But then at the end time, right? At the end game, we couldn't do it. So we couldn't manage. So we had to obviously rephrase our priorities, and we had to like we couldn't put our full into the inter competition. So yeah.
Okay, I think we can end it here. ரொம்ப நேரம் போன மாதிரி ஆயிடுச்சு.
ஆமா ரொம்ப நேரம் டவுட்ஸ் இல்லைன்னா we'll end it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll end it here, guys. And as I said already, keep participating in events and classes and everything. Just make sure you have the interest towards the topic. Adu irundale you will get the remaining. So keep doing well and stay safe also. Thank you for attending.
Yeah.
Thank you for
லாக்டவுன் ஒரு இதுவா மீன் ஒரு